The worst week ever. 600 milligrams DPH plus 1,800 milligram Gabapentin trip. I've done a decent amount of drugs in the short time that I've been doing them, but this experience is by far the most memorable of them all, though not for a good reason. It was a decent day of high school about a month ago, and during this time I would usually get high one way or another during school to make the day a bit more interesting. The day before, I had stolen a 48 pack of 25 milligram Benadryl tablets, and I already had some Gabapentin that I would frequently take during school, including earlier this day, either alone or with other substances. On this particular day, I was planning on waiting until I got home to take half of the 48 pack I had stolen, but due to the fact that I have poor impulse control, I took 24 of them during lunch. After lunch, I went back to my fourth period. Not long after I got back did I start to feel the effects. I started to see this weird fog that had moving rainbow patterns in it. I kept staring at this fog for the rest of class. Eventually, the bell rang, and when I didn't snap out of watching the fog, my teacher told me class had ended. I immediately jumped up and grabbed my stuff, except for my phone, and booked it to my fifth period. I fell in the hallway and caught the eye of one of the vice principals, who came over to check on me. She quickly noticed that I was not coherently speaking, and she brought me to the nurse's office. At first they thought I had hit my head when I fell, causing me to have a concussion, but after they searched my bag, they realized what happened. They immediately called 911 and my mother, and I was soon put in an ambulance. They drove me to the emergency room, and on the way I pissed myself because I thought it was in a bathroom. Eventually, we arrived in the emergency room, and I was completely out of it. I was apparently blabbering on and on about deer and rabbits, and how I too was a deer. Later on, I was transferred to a children's hospital so I could sober up before being placed into a behavioral health center. I slept until around 9 in the morning, and then stayed in my room all day watching movies on the TV in my room with my mom, who stayed with me during the whole night. Eventually, I was transferred to a behavioral health center, and I stayed there for 3 days until being discharged. While I was there, I was informed that when I was in the emergency room, my heart rate had gone up to 148 BPM and I had an irregular heartbeat. I was also prescribed a stronger dose of my antidepressant and had lots of therapy every day. This experience has given me lasting trauma, and I'm never doing diphenhydramine again. If this report wasn't enough to scare you away from DPH as well, please be safe and take it with a sitter at home.